Welcome to the Furloko Podcast.
Where crazy fluff butts talk about stuff. Arr.
And maybe some things you might wish you never heard of.
With your hosts,
DJ for 3.
we're Fox 18 and our special guest.
Hi, I'm Knight.
Yeah.
Night
So,
of the
to-
Rue.
Oh, you know what month it is, don't you?
Yes.
The month of May. which
Although,
is-
with disclaimer, if you see her hands just go jittery all of a sudden, essentially there was a most recent update for her headset that has pretty much broken everything. So if things go all screwy, it's just because of an update that happened, and it's just fucked
Yeah,
beyond belief.
there-
And it's
for
her
some-
third headset. So
For some
it's
reason,
it's definitely the update.
V51 update is the one that keeps breaking the controllers, and even though V53 hit, any headset that had V51 on it just isn't fixed by V53, and sometimes V53 is also breaking the controllers, and we don't know why. Sometimes the
So-
headset will just lose connection to the controllers entirely, and you have to factory reset it to fix it, and it only lasts for a little while.
So yeah, quick disclaimer. So now if you see that, that's what's going on. Now, a little short segment on
Because it is the month
just
of May.
obviously I'd get that out of the way. It is the month of May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month,
Yeah.
which we all need to take seriously, and like even if it's small things, just try and do something to try and help yourself out,
And-
whether that's meditating or taking an online screening test, or if you really need to, go see a therapist. Like there's a few things here and there. And sometimes it'd just be you do a certain
And-
hobby that will bring up your mood, or just other little things, and try and be around people. Like if you can, try and socialize. Even
And
if
for
that's
those of
like
you in the
15
United
minutes a day.
States, I know other countries have it too, but here in the United States we have what is known as the National Mental Health Crisis Hotline. And if you or anyone you know is having a mental health crisis, you can always reach out to them for assistance.
Yep.
So,
And
Mhm.
another thing that could bring down the mental health is loneliness. That's why I mentioned that you should try and socialize with people a little bit, is because loneliness is as dangerous as drinking and smoking, if not worse. Because someone
be.
who's severely lonely, they might not give you any hints or anything of what's going on, and then all of a sudden, that's it. So, if you're feeling lonely, try and get out, try and talk with someone, whether it's someone in the family, a friend, or even if it's just 15 minutes a day, it will help. So, stay safe. We love you. We love all of you. And just had to get that out of the way because we care. Because both me and her, we are, as the doctors like to call it now, both me and her are level 1 on the spectrum, which we have Asperger's. Which is the real term for it, but from what you told me a while ago, apparently they just want to call it level 1 now.
yeah,
So-
that's when I had my formal diagnosis update and everything. They just called it autism spectrum disorder level 1. I don't know why that changed. Pretty strange, but the mental health field's
Trying
always
to get rid of
updating
the
and everything.
uniqueness. Yeah. So if you can do anything, whether that's go out on a walk or listen to some of your favorite music, or meditating, seeing a therapist, or whatever. We care about all of you, and we love all of you. Stay healthy and stay safe. Now,
Mhm.
to get into it, one
You
thing that
know,
can help out with loneliness and mental health is
music, especially for me, like I'm a DJ. I love sharing music with people. I love finding new music, different songs, and some songs are very relatable. Um, I myself, I grew up on country, classic rock, blues, bluegrass, um, some contemporary rock, and then in college I got more into some of the more modern rock and stuff like Chevelle back in the day when I was in college. It kind of dates me a bit, but everybody here knows I'm an old gray mouse.
I didn't know you liked Chevelle.
Yeah, yeah. One of my favorite songs from them
My
was The
dad
Red,
got me into that. Oh,
and
the Red, Jars, Liar, or Comfortable Liar. All those are good. All of them.
hmm
Every single one. I have a
I also
playlist
liked
on
Creed and
Spotify that is
Crossfade.
every single one of their albums. All in one.
Yeah, very nice.
It's only Chevelle.
Mm-hmm.
It's the
What
one
about
thing I
Night?
can relate to my dad and my Aunt Jimmy on.
Yeah. What kind of music do you like, Night?
Well, I pretty much like a lot of it. Mostly techno, dance, electric. It gets my mood
Mm,
up, gets me going. Start dancing a little bit to it, even though I can't dance. I try to.
same,
Then
same.
I'll
I'm
then I'll
terrible.
pop over into then I'll pop over into say classic rock, AC/DC,
Oh hell yeah.
maybe even to a little bit more heavier rock, Metallica, stuff like that. It just
Oh
it's
yeah,
soothes
Metallica.
it soothes
Yes.
me down, calms me, but also gets me in a good running mood.
And there goes my tracking again.
Yeah,
See, that was that
like
issue we mentioned a bit ago.
it, like especially with like if we're starting off with genres, then in general, I've grew up with liking every single kind of genre, so I didn't really care what people put on. I enjoyed it. Um, I always say this to everyone, I was like, I don't care what kind of music you put on, as long as it's not One Direction or Justin Bieber, I'll listen to it. If it's either one of those, I'm going the other way, or I'm plugging my ears. Like there's
Oh
some
goodness.
country songs that I absolutely love. Like one of them is from one of my favorite movies, Beer for My Horses.
Oh heck yeah.
I love that song.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I
There's
recently filmed a
one
TikTok of me
that
singing both parts of that.
uh I think you would kind of like it, Night, because it's a trick song. Because
Hmm.
the initial part of the song sounds like country,
Oh.
but when you get into the later part of the song, it's drum and bass. So it tricks
Hmm.
you. Like it's actually a drum and bass song, but the first part of it is like acoustic guitar, like country cowboys kind of singing kind of thing. And then it's just like essentially it says, "Look at what you made me do," and then it drops. It's so good. It's but
I
so
may
like
have heard
I'll
that
listen
before.
to any.
You're gonna have to send me a link to that later.
It's Better Than Gold is the song. Here I'm gonna have to quickly look at who it's by because uh if
Hmm.
I'm going to provide a link to every single song, I think we're gonna run out of head space because
Yeah,
we might have
yeah.
quite a few.
The
This is true.
Saying that the sun is better than gold by I literally just said it and my brain is so stupid.
Don't
Better
feel
Than
bad. I
Gold
have
by
those days.
Justin Hotz and Andrew Hellier.
Not sure who that is.
it sounds familiar. The title does, and the description does. I may have heard it before.
It is so good. I love it
But
because
it's-
it's such a trick. Because
But it definitely has been recent,
the person who I normally watch, that I get all of my music to put in to separate lists that I add, they do it every Friday. Like it's just to start off your weekend with like a party kind of thing. And I'm pretty sure everyone's probably known him by now, but his name is Hato, and essentially he is a DJ, and so he's done this whole thing for a long while to where he'll find random songs, whether they're the most popular song or songs that barely have like 100 lights on them, and he'll show them off. So like everyone's getting credit where it's due, kind of thing. And so
That's cool.
someone sent him that song, and he was like, this is like some yeehaw cowboy stuff. How's this drum and bass?" And then it did the kick, and he was just like, and he's just jumping all around. Like, that's the thing is, if he really likes a song, you'll see him get up and move to it, and so like you'll know. But it's not just like, yeah, it's a good song. It's just like, oh my god, and just jumping around and shit. It's so funny, some of the stuff that he does. Like, there'll be some songs that absolutely break him. Like, I mean, that'll happen with me too. There'll be certain songs that'll come up on my playlist. I'm just like, I gotta get moving. Go, move, because it's just so good. So that brings it into my favorite genre of, I like EDM. That's normally what, like, if I was going order of genres, like my top 5 would be EDM, then it would be old school rap. There's some of the newer stuff that I like, but old school rap, then rock, then pop, and then jazz. If I had to go in that order. And then
That's
country would probably
actually
be like
a-
6th or something.
That's about my genre order too, except for the rap. I'm not a big fan of that. Even the old school rap. It's just
As far as old school rap
I
goes,
can't
I
get
liked
into
Run
it.
DMC and stuff like that fairly well, but I was never huge into rap either. But I liked
It's
a
tricky.
few things
Yeah.
here and there.
It's tricky.
Now, as far as
I mean,
as far as like electronic music and EDM goes, I do like electro swing really well, and I love stuff along the lines of Daft Punk.
Daft Punk's a good one.
Electro swing, when I discovered that genre, when I first discovered that genre, the song was Odie Bodie's song, Electro Swing Remix.
I discovered it through
And
Caravan
it's
Palace.
super good. Oh yeah. I'm such a dumbass. I love Caravan Palace. The first song I heard from them was what was
Let me
it?
guess,
It
Lone
was
Digger.
yes. Yep. Because
I love the
all
video.
because it was a quote unquote furry related. Because all of the
Fair.
characters in there are all different types of mammals. I'll say it that way. Because there's
Very good
crocodiles,
animation, though.
dogs, cats, snakes. Yeah. it's really good, but yeah. So Caravan Palace, but I can't believe I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb.
No,
Like
you're fine. You're
I've
fine.
been listening Caravan Palace before I actually found the Oodie Booties remix, and I'm just like, you said that, and I was like, you're right. That is pretty much their genre. How can I forget
Yes.
that? I listen to them like all the time.
Love their music. Well,
Yeah.
what were you trying to say, Knight?
I mean,
Actually, I was making little noises. You know I do
Oh, yeah, this is true. This is true. Don't feel bad. I do it as well. On that note, no pun intended, or maybe it was. We shall never know. Um, I must refrain from all these bad music puns. Anyway,
Oh my.
anyway. I just broke DJ. Anyway, on that note, um, what songs do you find to be the most meaningful? Like have a really good meaning or deep meaning, anything like that?
Uh,
Hmm?
I have two songs that have like, well, no, that my brain is dumb. My brain heard what you said, and then it wanted to go something else that I wanted to talk about. I was like, no, that's not this. But um, so on that note, there's one that is really good that I love a lot that my dad introduced me to. Well, he introduced me to the artist, and then I found this song by myself. And it is Uncle Sam Goddamn by Brother Ali. And uh, it is rap, but it's more uh, lyrical, old school, because that's just kind of the rapper that he is he's more truthful with what he raps about. Like he's not like everyone else more nowadays that is just like all about drugs, money, guns, cars, and stuff like that.
Mm,
Right,
mm.
very much
He's
so.
if there's some sort of specific topic, he's gonna rap about that. Like he has a whole
I like that
album
though.
that is all about like literally the album title is All the Beauty in This Whole Life.
Ooh, yes.
And he a whole bunch of different songs that are just everything to do with like how people are raised and stuff like that. So like there's one that's called Dear Black Son and talking about like raising a black child and stuff like that, like how difficult it can be and all the issues with that. But back to Uncle Sam Goddamn. I love the song because he is rapping entirely about racism and how severely bad it was. He raps about the slave trade, like all different kinds of stuff that happened. But the chorus that I love a lot is Welcome to the United States, land of the thief, home of the slave, where the Grand Imperial Guard, where the dollar is sacred and power is God.
Hmm.
And just that quote alone will pretty much give you everything. It's just like, if you really think about it, that's kind of how it is. But
Yeah,
he made this
definitely.
song like 10, 13 years ago.
Still relevant today though.
It's
And
Mhm.
unfortunately, discrimination's still very prominent all across the board, and it's a shame. And kind of along those lines, one song that really stands out to me, and it is a Garth Brooks song, but it's not like his normal stuff. It's from his Chris Gaines album that was originally going to be the soundtrack, I think it was, to the movie The Lamb that they were going to film. in which he played a rock singer named Chris Gaines. But the movie never got made. I forget all the details as to why, but he went on tour and told the story behind Chris Gaines and everything. And the song on that album is called Right Now. And I'm just going to pick one of these verses at random. I think I'm going to go with this one. And the chorus. So, okay, maybe it's the papers, maybe it's the family, maybe it's the internet, radio, TV, maybe it's the president, maybe it's the last one, maybe it's the one before that. Maybe it's the athletes, maybe it's the dads, maybe it's the sports fans, agents, fads. Maybe it's the homeless, aliens, immigrants. Maybe it's life. Don't tell me that it's imminent. And then it goes into the chorus. Come on, people now. Smile on your brother. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. And that song has a lot of deep meaning in it to me. And because it talks about a lot of what's wrong in just society in general right now. All the problems that we have, all the common conflicts and everything. And if people would just learn to live and let be and get along, things could be a lot better.
Yeah. Do you
Well,
have any?
there are
I don't
quite
know
a
why my
few
brain
songs.
just blinked there.
There are quite a
Do you?
few songs that I get stories from because they tell stories. It's not just a song, but believe it or not, the old classic trucking country, like
Oh,
Red
goodness,
Soul
yes.
Line and all them.
Oh, Teddy Bear
They're yes,
and Teddy Bear's
they're
Last
not just
Ride. Beautiful
songs. They're not just songs. They are literally
They're more like
stories with a little bit of instrumental behind it.
instrumental, but yeah, but they're so beautifully
Every
done, and they
single one of them.
tell really good stories behind them. Especially Teddy Bear. It's just such a beautiful story, and it shows about how a lot of people care for this little boy who was crippled and passing away, and how
I tear up
everyone.
every time that song comes on.
Oh, I do too.
It is
Especially when you hear, I think it was it Diane Williams that did the sequel before Red Sovine did? I don't know. Anyway, the Teddy Bear's Last Ride, and it talks about how when Teddy Bear passes away, all those truckers come back for the funeral and stuff as well. Just beautiful. It makes me cry every time.
Yep.
Great
And
song
it
though.
was the trucking community was a family back then, and that
Oh, I
just
know. I wish it was.
I
I
like
wish it
that.
was that way now.
Me too. And
I think
being
I
one,
heard
I'm
a song that went like that.
Oh yeah.
Can't
I could
remember.
always send you a link to them later.
Mhm.
And then Phantom
I-
309 is
I-
just a fun one like that.
yeah. I mean, it tells one heck of a story of a legend.
And as far as like old story like songs like that go, I always liked Big John.
Big John's a good one. I mean, I have yet to come across a classic country song that I don't like, to be honest.
That's fair. That's fair. A lot of them are pretty good.
And believe it or not, on the opposite side of the spectrum, metal actually tells stories too.
Definitely. Very
Yeah.
much
I mean,
so.
even the screaming, growling death metal, there's still even a story behind that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, because there's some metallic songs that if you actually try and think about the lyrics in them, like there's some songs that their lyrics were I think if I'm remembering right, they were either inspiration or direct one-to-one of someone who was in jail after being like consumed by drugs and they were
Mhm.
in prison.
I believe
And
that
so
is
like some of their
Fuel.
songs is like some of their
I mean,
songs was like it was for that reason was because someone was in jail and they were talking about drugs and shit, and
actually, I think Fuel
like,
is a song that's based on that.
Hmm.
I mean, I could be wrong.
well, Master of
It's been a while since
Puppets.
I've heard it. Yeah.
Master of Puppets was talking about drugs and how they control you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't get it under control, it can kill you. Like, that's the
True.
whole premise of that song.
Well, and also like one of the
but-
lines from Fuel is, Fuel, give me fire, give me that what I desire.
Yeah.
It's a story based on the same
There's
thing.
that.
Yeah, yeah, very much so.
Most of them, I guess if we really want to look at it, like, if it's either more of the older ones, but like, I'd probably say like a good 30-40% of their songs probably has to deal with substance abuse.
Mhm.
Like, if you don't get it under control, then that's it.
Hmm.
For Whom the Bell Tolls is a song. I remember
Yeah,
playing
that's a good
that
one
on
on
the
me.
Wii.
Yeah, definitely.
Played that on the Wii. Guitar Hero Metallica. Played that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That and Bob Seger.
Oh goodness, the Silver Bullet Band. Yeah.
Of course, I kept going back to
Yeah.
AC/DC songs.
Nothing wrong with that.
Cause I'm TNT, dynamite,
And
TNT.
Eagles had a lot of good songs that had a lot of deep meaning too.
Mm-hmm.
And so did Journey.
Oh, Journey.
And even some Boston songs were actually pretty deep when you actually start and sit there and just really listen to them. Some of them have some really deep meaning to them too.
Yeah, there's some other good ones that was like some of the ones that I more remember growing up with that was older. Like, I have like
Come on, Trey.
essentially like right here is my wall, and like right up there I have like a little hanging sort of rack that you can put like CDs and movies in and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a whole bunch of CDs still, and like some of them in there I have Foreigner, which I always listen to, Jukebox Hero, and
Mm-hmm.
what was it?
Oh,
Some with Golden Eyes. And so then, like, I had some other ones that I grew up with
yeah.
that I liked a lot. But yet again, if I actually listen and pay attention to the lyrics, they are not meant for kids' ears.
No,
But
no,
I listen
very
to it
much
a
not.
lot.
Mm-hmm.
But his name is
that was like
Adam
me.
Lambert.
Oh.
My favorite ones was "What Do You Want From Me," "For Your Entertainment," which, if you really study that song, it's definitely not meant for kids' ears.
Oh yeah.
And "If I Had You." Those are my top 3 favorite from him. And yeah, if you really looked at the lyrics, you could easily say like, I don't think a 5-year-old until he's like 12 should be listening to something like that.
Gosh, I remember when his music was kind of new to me. Like, I feel old. uh,
I mean, I'll always like, I have a separate avatar. Obviously, I can't pull it out because it has some of the music on it. but
Uh,
I'll pull out
I'd
the
like to see that
avatar
later, though.
sometimes,
Because you
and
said
I
those were by
will
Adam
go
Lambert,
up.
right?
Yes. It has one of his songs on there, and then
If I
there's like a
remember right,
couple of
didn't he
other
get
good
started
ones.
from American Idol? Isn't that how he got started? Adam Lambert, I think.
Mm.
I don't know.
I can't remember how
Maybe
he
I
got
got him confused
started,
with someone else. I
but
have to look that up again. But
like, so sadly I can't pull it out, but like I'll just go up to random friends and like sort of as a quote unquote like breaking the ice kind of thing. Um, I'll just play one of the songs and I'll be
I
like,
was right.
"Do you know this song?" And they're like, no." And then I'll play the one from Adam Lambert that's on there. I was like, "If you know this one, I love you. If you don't, we're fighting." Not really, but we're fighting. And there was only one other person that I showed that song to, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I know it." I was like, "Come here."
And I was right. He did get started on the 8th season of American Idol in 2009. That's how he was he was the runner-up, I think. Yep.
Ooh, didn't know that.
Yep. So, back on the topic of of meaningful songs, I have a list that's a mile long. We'd be here all night just trying to talk about just meaningful songs alone. But I do want to mention a couple of more that really are deep meaning to me that have been there for a long time. As some people know, I am part of the Relay for Life. I help raise money for the American Cancer Society each year through the Relay for Life. Right now, I'm part of the Relay for Life of Second Life. And the theme song for that, which was written by John Christopher Davis and performed by him, is fantastic. I love the meaning of it. And it tells exactly what Relay is about and everybody coming together and helping out for a cause. Love it. And tells the whole story and history of Relay for Life basically in a song as well, in a roundabout sort of way. It's great. And another one that is really, really good to me, that it's an old one that came out when I was a kid, and when he first recorded it, I think he was 11 or 12 years old. His name was Billy Gilman, and the song is called Hero. There's a hero or something like that, but it talks about there's a hero in everybody's heart and how everybody can be a hero. It doesn't mean you have to do some huge famous act. Just even a simple kind gesture of helping someone out can make you a hero in some way or another. It's a beautiful song too. Um, Another one he did later when he was older was We Go On. I just wanted to mention those though, just because they really stand out to me. But got another question for y'all. What song or songs do you find most relatable to you? Which ones do you relate to the most?
Oh, I got two. You got any?
It's going to take
I
me a
got a
while to
few.
narrow it down. I've got a list.
Well, I guess in my case, the first few that jump to mind, one of them being, a song by Bare Naked Ladies, and the song's called What a Good Boy. And for a lot of people that don't know much about me, I was born intersex. I have odd genetics that kind of left me somewhere in between growing up my whole life, between male and female. So I never really knew where I fit in. And since the song is about a young boy that's confused on gender roles, that song really kind of hits home to me in a lot of ways because it describes a lot of my feelings growing up. Um, Another couple of songs that are really relatable to me, and I'm sorry, but this artist has several I relate to, but Citizen Soldier and the song Anyone But Me is really hard hitting for me because of my dysphoria and other mental illnesses I have. And then same with the song "Not Okay" or uh, "Who I Am."
Yeah, in the similar sort of tone, because I also have one from Citizen Soldier, um, just because of how it relates to my past and how I treated things in high school, because I would have two friends that, uh, we'll just put it this way, is if I didn't step in and I just put them in the same room together, someone's gonna go to the hospital. There would be at some point that I would get to that point. But I would essentially consider myself the no man's land,
Hmm.
because I would be receiving what they're talking about, sending messages to each other, trying to keep them away and just keep them separate. And so I was always the middle ground. I was because I cared about both of them so much, and they were just constantly, it was everything. But uh, that song is "Weight of the World" by Citizen
Oh
Soldier,
yes.
and that one especially hits deep with that. I used to listen to it so much to where I would kind of have like a little choreography to it, but it was more of just the head and upper body. Like there wasn't no dance moves, like nothing special. It was just little things like have the weight when they said weight of the world, I would make the gesture of I'm holding the world. So I got the weight of the world. And like so there's sometimes when I just get too far down. That's pretty much like the first song I go to, but on a more positive note, one that I relate to a lot is one that I can coincide with my dad, because he introduced me to this group. I mean, he introduced me to all old school rap. That's how I gained my love for it. Like Jurassic 5, Dilated Peoples,
Mm.
Wu-Tang Clan, Brother Ali, Aesop Rock, like a whole bunch of them. But the one that both me and my dad can relate to, because it's just how we work, is Dilated Peoples' Worst Comes to Worst. Because it's not the entirety of the song, but just a little section of the main chorus is essentially saying, worst comes to worst, my people come first. And that's just kind of how I always operated. It was, if something major went down, I went to my friends and family first, and then I would try and help out the third party. But friends and family were there first on the list if something went down. But that's one song that I can at least very strongly relate with my dad about. And
Mhm.
that's just one thing that will never separate, because that's just how I work.
Nice.
Do you have
What
any relatable ones, Knight?
You know, again, it's a long list, and it's more or less between me and my family. My mom and dad, who has since passed. It's just going back to like that classic trucking music, because I'm a fourth generation truck driver, and so it's just
Right.
that type of music, road music. It's just it's something that I really can't narrow down to one certain thing, one certain portion. it's all of it together. It's
More of just
it's
like
hard to
the
describe for
genre
me.
of it,
Kind
like
of
the
the
topic of
genre,
it.
like a subgenre, I guess you can say, because it's still country music, but it's more or less specifically that.
Yeah.
And I really don't have any
sort
songs
of like
that
a
I can.
subgenre of country.
Yeah,
Just
I grew
that
up
in
with
as
a
general.
lot
far
of
as I
that
can,
stuff too.
as far as an individual for myself, I really can't. I can't really think of anything right now.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's quite a few of them out there that I really enjoy, that I really think deep about, but none of it's coming to my mind right now.
Fair enough.
I think we all
Oh, man.
suffer from that problem. And we really,
Yeah,
really want to
it-
name something off, and it just never
It
happens.
doesn't get any better with age. I can warn you about that now. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It doesn't get any better.
Oh, I've had that issue for a while.
Oh,
I've had that issue
Um,
for a while.
but again, mentioning Citizen Soldier and going back to it being Mental Health Awareness Month, all of his music is very relatable in that sense, and a lot of it deals with topics, or I think actually all of it deals with topics along mental health and stuff. It's fantastic. If you've never heard of him, give him a listen. It's a lot of it's helped me through some tough times, recent loss of kids and stuff like that. It's really helped me get through some of those times.
Yeah, because there's like other songs that are like down on that end of it, to where it's more of the
Exactly.
bad mental health, or just
His is
not really bad,
mostly
just the
uplifting
lower
in a
end
lot
of
of
it.
ways.
And it was mostly like simple plan, welcome to my life.
Hmm.
There was divide the day, fuck the pain away, which is a good song just on its own, but if you really listen to it and learn it, like, it's people
And
trying to
on
cope with their issues in not the best way, but it's something to just, it sort of like an exertion. Like they're exerting it in a different way that's not like abusive or hatred. It's like, so, but
true.
like there's a few songs that are like that. It's just like there could be some of
Oh,
those songs just got you reaching a little bit,
hmm but a couple
trying
that
to
come to
help.
mind, they're country songs as well that are really good along the lines of at least mental health awareness side of things. Emerson Drive's Moments, beautiful song, talks about this guy that's walking onto the East Street Bridge about, to end his own life, and this old homeless dude walks onto the bridge with him, asks for some money, figures out what's going on, and talks about his life and how he wasn't always homeless and how he used to be in the war and everything and all that. And then it goes into the guy said that he started feeling awkward with the homeless man standing there, and he told him about his life and how he hadn't always been this way either, and he had his moments where life was good, and he tells about all the great things like how he walked away from alcoholism to be with his wife and to make his wife happy and everything, and a love that when it was right could always see him through. There's one of the lines in there, and then at the end of the song, it talks about how the old man tells the story around a trash can fire one more time and how he saved that young man's life on that East Street Bridge. Beautiful song. It talks about a lot of common, relatable issues that lead to people to feel that way. And it also reminds you that no matter how alone you might feel, there's always going to be someone there to reach out to if you just look. And speaking of loneliness, Blaine Larson's How Do You Get That Lonely? As another song about suicide and about this young boy that took his life, and the whole town's wondering, well, how do you get that lonely and nobody know? How did no one see the signs? Did anyone see the writing on the wall? All that. What led him to it? You know? And how about staying silent doesn't really help anything? Maybe if you would just let people know how you're feeling in that moment. Maybe you can get help.
Yeah.
So a
But
nice tie-in to what we talked about earlier. So
but obviously sometimes there can be times where like just their brain and psyche is just
hmm
like, well, I could tell someone, but then they'll probably hate me. Essentially, like their brain, in some people's cases, can essentially have it to where their own brain is fighting them because they could be holding it in for so long that their own brain is essentially like, it's not really, but their brain is split. So it's to the point where it's um like their brain is pretty much saying like, oh well, I can go tell someone so I can get some help, so I'm not feeling so bad. But then the other half of their brain is like, but I don't want to bother them, I don't want to make it seem like it's a big deal, I don't want to make myself the center of attention.
that's
And
understandable.
there's a lot of cases that happen like that. It's just because their brain is just like
I've
how
even
I
felt that
normally
way a
say
few
it
times.
whenever someone felt somewhat okay, um they're just like essentially down to the wire of just, well, I could say something, but I I don't want to. I can get help, but I don't want to seem like I'm the asshole for taking all the attention. And so I've been
Understandable.
around quite a few people that I've seen that happen. So there's some cases that can,
True.
it's just it's them fighting themselves at that point.
Seems we lost our guest. I wonder if his internet dropped out.
Uh,
These things happen
but
when you're dealing with people all over the country. Right? It's unavoidable sometimes.
the
Well, if that's the case,
well,
that's a shame because we didn't really get to a couple of things that I wanted to, but that's okay.
I mean, if we want to,
It's not the end of the world.
or just like what we're planning to do with cartoons, we could do a part 2 later and go a little bit more in depth on different topics and stuff of music.
Maybe part 2 would be good. I didn't know if you wanted to wait for him to come back or if he is coming back. I haven't got any word from him.
Uh,
Um, no.
Nope, I don't see me.
Hmm.
Um,
Are they calling for severe storms tomorrow? I'll have to look that up here in a minute. But you know, one thing before we go though that I would like to touch on here. What songs do you think are like over throughout time? It can be any genre, whatever. What song is the most memorable to you? Like one that just really comes to mind all the time, that just stands out, that is really hard to forget about.
ooh,
It is just that memorable.
oh man. Honestly, I'm gonna have to take a look for a second. because I feel like I do. Oh no, I know one. The one that is most memorable to me throughout everything is "Money" by Pink Floyd.
I could see that.
The most iconic.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. That's a good one too. And yeah, that is a pretty memorable song, and it comes up a lot. I hear it on the radio all the time.
I always
And there's a
listen to
few.
it with my grandpa in his truck every
I
time we
listened
went
to
to
it a
the
lot growing
races.
up too. With Dad, my father's the one that got me hooked on classic rock and stuff. Including Black Crowes and everything. But I think for me, and this is a bit of a tough call, and without going into like songs that are specifically memes and everything, this one almost could be considered that. But Journey's "Don't Stop Believing." That one is just so memorable and
Oh, yeah.
iconic to me.
Don't stop
And then of
believing.
course, there's a lot of Queen songs that would be that way too. Especially, oh, I'm drawing a blank. I just had it. Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't know why that I just spaced there for a second.
Alright.
But everybody
Oh,
seems to know
yeah.
that song. It is
That
just that memorable
I
and
mean,
iconic.
that is pretty much the most iconic one, especially when it's one of the more kind of
I
the
mean,
first like rock songs that got memed on quite heavily.
yeah.
I think
But it was
Freddie
iconic
Mercury
even before the
was
memes.
well, yeah, but like I'm just saying with just that song in general, like there's been like a whole thing of them making it all sorts of weird, but then there's also
Mhm.
been times where they've just I'm gonna take every single song that they've sang and all the ones with Freddie Mercury, I'm gonna make them say some stupid shit. It's like, why didn't you? Why?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
why? It's
It
dumb.
is strange,
But
but
I mean, yes, it'll get a chuckle out of me sometimes, but it's still stupid.
same. But humor is fleeting
But if
and
we
it
really
is
want to think
strange
about
and it's
it,
a fickle thing.
isn't all humor stupid? Isn't everything
I mean, in
stupid
some
humor?
ways, yeah. I mean, it is very fickle
Because
and very subjective.
because you get giant adults laughing uncontrollably just because someone rips one or like
Totally not guilty of that. Nope, never.
uh-huh.
Oh, I'm cute, fluffy, and
Good thing
innocent.
you guys don't get to see her off camera. You guys are surviving.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hmm.
I blame
Uh-huh.
Chipotle. Anyway. So this one time at Oklahoma. Okay, we're not going there.
If we just want to go off of like past stories from cons, we'll get that another week.
Yeah, I'm really gonna have to censor myself for that one. I mean, no. I'm cute, fluffy, and innocent. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I've
Oh.
known you for 2 years now.
Oh, Omni's known me. Yeah, I guess it has been 16 years. Yeah. Same with Night. Yeah, that's a long time. But I guess on that note,
But
well, Should we
Yep.
should we ever revisit this topic?
I think later in the future
Oh God, excuse me.
we should we should. It's more natural. I mean, it sucked that it was a hiccup and then a belch, so it was kind of forced. You were screwed either way. But on that
as
note,
they were saying earlier, we laugh at the
we'll end it
silliest
with
things.
laughter. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Maybe we'll.
Hey, everyone, no matter what age they are either tiny children or giant children.
And
That's it.
and if you all watched and made it through to the end of this video, let us know in the comments. Would you like us to revisit this topic later? And if so, also let us know what some of your favorite songs were.
Yeah, and if you want to, I'm going to set up a part in the Discord server that we have, which is a hangout for anyone that likes fans of what we're doing, just want to chill and just have a little hangout and stuff like that, talk with us. I'm going to put a area in there that will be like a suggestion box. So you guys can put in any sort of topics that you think we should have like a little chat and talk about. The only rule is nothing political, religious, or controversial. Please. We'll talk about just about anything else, just nothing that falls in any one of those three. But we love you all. And this has been the crazy Furloko Podcast.
Sometimes it's
I
the
mean,
podcast
I
about
guess that
nothing
made
and everything
sense.
all at once.
I mean, I guess that made sense. A crazy podcast.
Where a few furries just
Furloko.
ramble about everything.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, no, that's what
Anyway.
it is. Like, we give ourselves a general topic and then it's just go.
Let's watch the train wreck. Yeah. No, but it is fun. It's fun. And we hope you find some enjoyment in it as well. So, Until next time, bye-bye.
Don't worry, be furry. Love you all. Make sure you check up on your mental health. Ta-ta.
Yeah.